Good morning, friends. Myself, Professor Kamlesh Jadhav, Assistant Professor of Agricultural Extension, and today I am going to discuss with you about non-verbal communication. So, firstly, we will see what is meant by non-verbal communication. Non-verbal communication occurs without using any oral or written words. Instead of oral or written words, it relies on various non-verbal cues like physical movements, tasks, colors, signs, symbols, signals, etc. to express feelings, attitude, or information. Although no word is used in non-verbal communication, it can effectively communicate many human feelings more accurately than verbal methods of communication. So, in short, in non-verbal communication, we do not use any kind of oral words. So, these are the types of non-verbal communication, or we can say that these are the means through we can effectively communicate with others non-verbally. These are, first one is eye contact, second one is facial expressions, third one is gestures, then postures and body orientation, then body language, space and distance, proximity, paralinguistic, humor, touch, silence, personal appearance, symbol, and visual communication. So we will see one by one. First one is eye contact. Eye contact as important channel of interpersonal communication helps regulate the flow of communication and it signals interest in others. Eye contact with the audience increases the speaker's credibility. Teachers who make eye contact open the flow of communication and convey interest, concern, warmth, and credibility. Then, next one is facial expressions. The face is an important communicator. It is commonly said that the face is the index of the mind. It expresses the type of emotions or feelings such as joy, love, interest, sorrow, anger, confusion, fear, and uncertainty. Facial expressions are indicated through the mouth, then eyelids, then nose, cheeks, and the forehead. Within the facial expressions, eyes are specially effective for indicating attention and interest. However, interpretations of facial expressions differ from culture to culture. Then next one is gestures. Gestures are the movements of arms, legs, hands, and head. If you fail to gesture while speaking, you may be perceived as boring and unanimated. A lively and animated teaching style captures students' attention, makes the material more interesting, facilitates learning, and provides a bit of entertainment. For example, in Europe, rising thumb is used to convey that someone has done something excellent, while in Bangladesh, some gestures mean something idiot. Then, next is posture and body orientation. You communicate numerous messages by the way you walk, talk, stand, and sit. Standing erect but not rigid, and leaning slightly forward communicates to the students that you are approachable, receptive and friendly. Then next is body language. Body language is another widely recognized form of non-verbal communication. Body movements can convey meanings and messages. Body language may take up two forms of unconscious movements and concisely controlled movement. For example, when a person is bored, he may gaze around the room rather than look at the speaker, or he may shift positions frequently. The next is space and distance. Space and distance are significant non-verbal tools in case of organizational communication. A spacious and well decorated room indicates a person's position in the organization hierarchy, and external people get a message about his importance and authority only by visiting his room. Distance is another communication tool which expresses the degree of intimacy and individual acceptance. The next one is proximity. Cultural norms dictate a comfortable distance for interaction with students. You should look for signals of discomfort caused by invading student space. Some of these are rocking, leg swinging, tapping. Typically, in large college classes, space invasion is not a problem. There is usually too much distance. Increasing proximity enables you to make better eye contact and increases the opportunities for students to speak. The next is paralinguistic. The facet of non-verbal communication includes such vocal elements as tone, pitch, rhythm, loudness, inflection. For maximum teaching effectiveness, one should learn to vary 6 elements of your voice. One of the major criticisms is of instruction who speak in a monotone. Students report that they may learn less and lose interest more quickly when listening to teachers who have not learned to modulate their voices. The next is humor. Humor is often overlooked as a teaching tool, and it is too often not encouraged in college classrooms. Laughter releases stress and tension, both instructor and student. One should develop ability to laugh at yourself and encourage students to do same. It fosters a friendly environment that facilitates learning. The next is touch. Touch is a widely used form of non-verbal communication tool. By touching, one can express a wide range of emotions. However, the accepted models of touch vary depending on gender, age, relative status, intimacy, and cultural background of the persons. For example, in the context of our culture, when one touches you from the back of the examination hall, your understanding is that he wants to know something. Then, silence. Silence is a powerful tool of communication. It may have a positive or negative meaning. In classroom, silence indicates that students are listening carefully and attentively. In the same way, through the silence, one can communicate his lack of interest or a failure to understand. For example, silence often indicates that a person receiving instruction does not understand the action required, or sometimes silence indicates concept. The next is personal appearance. Appearance is also an important non-verbal communication tool. Appearance includes dress, hair, jewelry, makeup, and so on. Appearance indicates the degree of importance or interest a person conveys to an occasion. Through uniform, we can identify a student, a doctor, a lawyer, a police officer, etc. Then next is symbol. A symbol is something that represents an idea, a physical entity or a process, but it is distinct from it. The purpose of symbol is to communicate meaning. For example, a red octagon may be a symbol for stop. Then next is visual communication. When communication occurs using any visual aids, it is known as visual communication. Thus, communication that occurs through facial expressions, personal appearance, gesture, posture, sign, signal, symbol, map, etc. is called as visual communication. For example, to indicate danger, we use red sign. To mean dangerous, we use a skull space between two pieces of bone but in crosswise fashion. To indicate no smoking, we use an image showing a lighted cigarette with a cross mark on it. So, these are the ways through which we can communicate non-verbally. So, this is all about the non-verbal communication and its types. Thank you.